Well, as you heard earlier in the program, Canadian cyclist Michael Barry has admitted for the first time that he cheated, that he used performance-enhancing drugs. Barry was a member of the same team as superstar Lance Armstrong, now stripped of his titles by U.S. officials. In his first interview about cheating, Barry spoke with the CBC's Adrienne Arsenault about the very moment he decided to start doping.
You said you wanted to apologize to people for lying. What did you lie about?
I lied about I doped and I cheated, and I did things that I swore to myself and to many others that I would never do, and I caved in to peer pressure and I was pushed to my physical limit, and I did things that I wasn't proud of.
Can you remember what that first time you doped was like? How you did it? What that felt like?
Yeah, I mean, I remember it I remember it clearly, and it was actually, a needle was put in my arm, and the EPO went in, and then, I mean, that was it. I was doping, and but from then on, I became part of a program and a system, and I never really, I never felt good about what I was doing. Obviously, I felt guilt a lot of the time, and I was paranoid that I was going to get caught, and people were going to find out that I was doing it.
But you had a choice, Michael, after you did it the first time and you felt so bad about yourself for doing it. Why did you do it again?
Because it was accepted, and I found a million ways to justify it.
But how much time did you spend thinking, I'm going to get caught, I'm going to get caught?
It was stuck with me all the time, and it's not, I mean, it's a terrible way to live when you're constantly thinking about something like that. In
the cycling world, people remember when Floyd Landis implicated you for doping, and you denied it. Were you lying then?
Yes, I was.
You were lying?
Yeah.
What was going through your mind at that time?
I was racing in the Tour of Italy. I woke up one morning and he had made the allegations, and I obviously panicked. I had to deal with it. My first response was to deny it. Did
you ever fail a drug test?
No.
I mean, mechanically, how would you evade the system? Literally, how did it work?
Well, most of the drugs we were using small doses of EPO, and those would be injected in the evening, and most of the time they would clear the system the next day. And if they hadn't cleared our systems, we would just stay low or try not to be tested by the testers.
I've read stories about people saying that when you get a suntan, sometimes the marks reveal the injection marks too, and you have to be careful to cover those up with makeup.
You don't really even notice the injection marks. The needles were tiny, and but one thing I did notice was the testosterone patch, the chemical burns from the testosterone patches that were used. You see that on a lot of riders, and I would get the burns myself as well.
How'd you hide those?
They would actually go away quite quickly, but usually they were on our underwear line, so it wasn't a big problem.
But for people who are trying to get a sense of how systemic this doping was within that team, what would you say to them?
I would say there are very, very few riders that went through that team that were clean, and it would be hard for me to name a dozen riders that I knew in the sport at that time that I could swear were clean as well.
You can think of less than a dozen riders in the whole sport at that time who were clean?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big, big problem, and I think it was. No one wanted to speak about it. We were told not to speak about it. It was a huge problem in the sport.
USADA says you're a brave guy today. Is that how you see it?
Well, I don't see myself as being brave at all. If I was if I was brave, I probably would have never caved into it in the start, never started to dope. But to me, this feels like the right thing to do, and I feel good about that.